Okay. Welcome to weekly forecast of Nifty top 10 stocks and major indexes. So we'll begin with the gold. So this is the gold chart, which is looking like if I go little bit lower, higher time frames, that is for a weekly time frame, it is looking still like there is no change in the trend. Maybe you people, if you follow my weekly forecast videos or in the if you are in the group, so we were in the buy from the level of somewhere around 1344 or 1360 or something. So from here we are starting, or we started buying, and we thought earlier like 61% and then 80% for the minimum, that is the level is 1780, and now it is somewhere around 2073 is the highest, and still it is not coming down anywhere if you see this sideways pattern in a weekly chart. See, if you're seeing this chart like a weekly chart of a gold, if still there is a trend for the upside, right? So there is no selling in case of gold as of now. This is a weekly chart just for the reference I'm telling. And if I see with a trend line or this channeling technique, so somewhere around where will we land up somewhere around this, that is 2400 or 2400. From here maybe another 300 400 points, that probably for 1800 300 points will be like 6%. How much it will be, like 1800 and 300 points? Yeah, 6 to 7% or 10% movement. For 10% it will be like 187 point, right? uh, Sorry, broadly we can take like a 2000, and from 2000 to 2400, uh, that will be huge, right? From 400 and this 200 600 points for 1800, that will be 30% upside from the present rate. Maybe if it is like a 50K right now, the gold, 30% will be another 15K, means 65,000 probably. For the gold we might be reaching there. Okay, there might be the correction, I agree, but the overall trend is still in a positive on the basis of weekly chart. So we'll see how it is behaving in a daily and then hourly. Okay, so just I'm taking this as a present low, and this is second low, and this is the highest point. It is not true channeling, because as we know the rules, like if until and unless it crosses the high of this, we can't take this as a low, because you don't know, right? For example, let's say if something goes like this, so the low will be changing, but imaginary low of a second, thinking that it might be doing the second low, I'm just adding the channel to this because of this total sideways movement which is presently happening in case of gold. If it is coming little bit down also, then there is a chance it will be going to go for 80% and then 100%, or like a some complex correction before it can go any further up. So I'm not saying like in next 1 to 2 months or next year it will be going to go for 2400, but the way the gold behaved from the past or in the earlier days, it is like in the good trend for now. For example, if I just add these two lines, and if it is like this present channel, or if I add one more channeling zone, that probably comes like this. Okay, and one more will be from this to upside. So here in case of gold on the daily basis also, it seems like a positive. There is no need to sell as of now, and as per the daily chart. So we'll be going again to the hourly, so that it will be giving a hint for us for next 1 or 2 week. So as if you see in a hourly chart, it is now, if you see, this is a faster movement for the downside, right? The moment for the downside is a little bit sharper compared to this rise. So I'll be checking with the time so that it will be giving some hint, so which is a faster, right? The downside movement which is taking, it is less time compared to this moment. So here it finished 100% and now it is more than 100%. So one thing it may happen, like for example here you might be getting one down or some correction before it can go any further up, or if it slides down it will be coming to the 1740 or something. But if you are getting anywhere that range, it is good time to buy for upside. Okay, but as of now if you see only basis of hourly, so presently there is a slight downside is possible in case of gold keeping the 1905 as a SL, or if it is going above that we will be uh, going to buy until and unless it won't be crossing this 19.5 or something, or in the slower form. Let's take if it is going like a slower form and crossing the 1905, and that won't be considering the valid buy. Okay, so if it is going slower and crossing the 1905, that is not a valid buy. Again from there it will be going to go one down before it can go any further upside. So as of now what you can expect in the gold for the next week is stay in a sell mode. Maybe another I'll just connect in this. So let's add one more channel from this bottom to this. Okay, so here it might, so I'll just add that to the top. So these may be the support and resistance lines. So here if you see maybe like 1 and 2 or 3 and 4 or simple ABC kind of a structure, if it finishes ABC here, a two structure or two-way structure, then it will be like a downside first, or it might be doing this. Here it will take some support and come down and start moving upside. Because if I see the time wise, it is not looking very much sharp compared to this fall. So I'm waiting a one correction or at least like some consolidation in case of gold. So presently for the next week you can look for the sell. If it is a slower crossing to the 1905, then also we will be expecting some down. Okay, like this, or first to the down then up. So look for sell at least to the level of like 1842 or to the level of 1816 for the next week in case of gold. And from that we will be looking for the buy if it gives a valid confirmation. Okay, so silver hourly basis. So if you see, this is the sharper moment, right? So here another sharper moment. So here it might get some correction and one more up. So look for buy for at least like 28 USD in case of silver, not to sell, because it is looking like a sharper compared to this slower fall. So here it might be going to the 80% and 100%. So look for the buy, not for the sell in case of silver. Okay. So USD INR. So USD INR, earlier we are saying that at least it will be going to the 74 or 80% of this. And presently the structure hasn't changed much. So still if it is coming to the downside also, we'll be going to go one more up because it is a slower form of correction which is presently going on. So at least once again the same range, and from that if it is not going anywhere we will be seeing this. But presently it is looking for the one more buy, so look for the buy, not to sell in case of USD INR. Crude. Yeah, so earlier week we said like look for the sideways or some correction for the downside, right? So if I just remove everything, this is like going in a sideways for the long time in the hourly basis, right? If you're seeing this moment a slower and slower, this is a sharper downside, and this is a only two-way structure. If you see this seriously, 1 2 and 3, a two-way structure, and it is again sharply crosses the high. Now what to expect in case of crude? Maybe one more up before they can come down a little bit, maybe to the 80% and to the 100% now. So now this will be the sharper and correcting after one upside moment. So there is hopefully this might happen So now look for the buy for 50 USD in case of crude oil, keeping this as a stop loss. But once if crosses this line, we can move the SL to 47 or something. So look for buy, not sell until and unless it crosses a 46 USD in case of crude oil. Okay. Now we'll be looking to the Nifty. For Nifty, I hope chart is ready. I mean, this is a possible structure. If I go daily, or like first we will go to the daily structure, what it is making. So again, like this is a longer time channeling. So I'm removing this, and this is in the channel. 13420 is the recent or support. So presently, if you see this one red candle, these are like inside candle to this mother candle, right? So I'm just removing this. This is like ABCD. We can add it later. If you see this one big candle of red, this is a mother candle for me now. So as per the trend following system, presently the trend is for the downside, but there is no confirmation yet. When you will get a confirmation, until and unless it crosses the low of 13,153 or 13,784 on the closing basis, so it should be above this or below this, then we can say that okay, trend has changed. But as per this candle of daily, presently trend is the downside. Okay, there is no buy by seeing this candle, because until and unless it crosses the high or low, we can't say what is the trend. But as per the daily candle, if you're leaving this on the shorter term, this will be like a buy, buy, and buy. Now what it will be doing for the hourly, check with this. If you're seeing this like upside, maybe 13,780, 795, hardly you can take like 13,800. The way it fell, it raised, but not in the faster form again, right? So there is a two possible pattern in case of Nifty. So if it is slower, let's take this as like a 1 point for me, and this is a second, and this is the second. So I'm a little bit confused, or like the pattern is like that. So you can't decide like this is the low or this is the low. So on this contrary basis, or on this occasion, I'm just considering this. Okay, this is the low and this is the low. Okay, for like possible high and low. So there also it is 100% of the time it covered 100% of the time. But to make a flat one, or if someone knows the wave pattern, or Elliott wave, Neo wave, there is a time constrict. There is like, if it is making a flat, there should be some like a 300% or 200% to 300% of the time. So here it is not taking much more time, right? So it is taking less, hardly like it is 100% and next 120%, right? 120% or hardly 150%. If I'm considering, instead of this low, if I'm considering, let's take this as a low, this point, then what is the possible pattern? The possible pattern here is flat, because it is like, let's say this is 100% of the time, and 100% and 100%, there are 300% of the time. So then there is a possibility is to complete the flat, or at least a running flat. Okay, on the both side, on the running flat, or like a flat, or at least we can say like some pattern of a triangle. Okay, if in all those three possibilities, that is a triangle or a flat or a running flat, it is like making some correction before it can go any further up, or it can go a little bit up and then correct. There is a one more possibility. For example, let's say tomorrow if market opens at 13,800 and moves upside for 131% or 1.272, that is for 13,960, then it might reverse some point before it can go any further up. Okay, why I'm saying that is the present possible pattern is either the flat, or let's say the triangle. So if I'm considering this as like a ABC, and this will be like a one more downside and one more up and one more down, there the possibility is of triangle before it can go any further up. So if I move like a higher time frame, let's take the alternation or like something that of the different pattern. So if something has started from this point or this point, right? So in this kind, like this is looking similar structure and this is looking a similar structure, right? So something has started from this point and something again started from this point. Like let's take this, something has started like a ABC or X. So if I'm thinking like something started here, it's like a or B. Okay, in that it is going like 1 2 or 3 4 or 5, or A B C D E, not A B C D E because it is not overlapping one. So 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and 5, right? This small moment is a 1 and 2, and this larger is a 3 and 4 and another. So here if you see the as per alternation, so here it is looking like a some triangle pattern, right? So 1 2 3 4 5 or something. So here it can't be the triangle as per the alternations. There must be a flat or a running flat. So in both case, as per the daily chart, it needs to come little bit down. If it is going to the 123% or like above 100% also, that's fine, because that pattern says that, like for example 123% is a minimum that it can go. I'm reversing it so that it will be giving you hint. Like 123%, this is 120 or 130% is 13,977, or let's take 14,000. Okay, if it is going a little bit upper, it doesn't matter, but the pattern is not sharp and giving a hint to buy here. So there is a chance definitely from this, at least it will be retracing for the downside is 60% of this rise. So 60% visually I'm taking it, maybe it is coming to the level of 13,400 or 13,474 or 13,300. If it is again a sharper, it will be going from there, or at least it will be coming to the 80%, or from here if it is reversing then to the 100%. Okay, these two are the possibilities in case of Nifty for the next week. So what to do? Let's take a 15 minutes chart. Okay, what you need to do is add the channel or like a trend line, which is least supporting now or which is present support, this line. I'll make it more green. Okay, anywhere if it is giving you a sell signal, that too in a two stage confirmation, that is, I'll repeat once again, like you will, people will all, like you might be knowing once already, but I'm repeating once again. One is a trend line breakout, that is stage 1. In lesser time is a stage 2. So this is two stage confirmation. So let's take for example, this is the low, that is 13,640. Okay, 640. If it is breaking in lesser time, I'm hoping, let's take this as a low and this is the highest point. So before 11:45, okay, before 11:45 of 28th December, that is Tuesday, right? Now Monday. So Monday 11:25, before that, if it is breaking the low of this, then we will be expecting some downside movement, maybe to the 61%. So this immediate high. So 61% or 50% will be 13,500 and 13,439. If not, what will happen? Let's say if it's lower sideways, then one more moment. Okay, it's possible, and one more down. This can be possible in case of Nifty, and again that will be like ending diagonal structure. There it might break for the downside and complete the structure of this A, B, and C in a bigger time frame. Okay, so what you can expect is, if it is breaking anywhere in the lesser time and breaking this trend line and the immediate support, you will be going for the sell, keeping the stop loss above this. Okay, if it is opening again like here, you can keep like a stop loss here and buy and wait for this to go for 137 or 127%, that is somewhere around 14,000. That can be done in case of Nifty for the next week. Okay, If I see this is fine, like trend is good, as this high is this, and this high is above this. Yeah, just one more strategy is that just I'm keeping that in case if it is going above this 13,800 and reversing suddenly, then one more pattern is there. So I will tell you that if it happens, so what you can expect there if it is crossing in sharper time. So then we'll be seeing this bottom once again, or this at least. I will tell you if it happens, I'll message in the group. Okay. So there is another different pattern. So here you can expect this to do the flat, okay, or some slower correction and one more up. Okay. If it is slower than this, then we can expect one more buy. So how to calculate that? Add this low and think that it is a high. If it is taking much more time and not crossing downside, then we'll be going one more up. Okay, fine. So what about Bank Nifty? We'll go for the daily structure first. So this is channel. So here, if you see here 1 and 2 or something like a AB or something started here. So here it is a slower form, one more up. So there is a possibility it will correct and go one more up, right? Or if it is like 80% or near 80%, but time wise, yeah, it is near 80% and above that. But if you see this last moment of sideways, uh, so this is a sideways, but if you see this last moment from here to this, it is a very sharp moment. So here you can't expect it to fall a sharper downside. It might happen like some correction. Let's take a triangle because it might done like a flat pattern here. So maybe a triangle or a zigzag, then upside, right? So that will complete 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, or something as new started from here, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. This is the daily structure. So let's go for hourly. Just adding this. Okay. Now again, the possibility here is from this down to this down. Here the possibility is looking like a flat or a triangle. So flat, it needs to take more time. As if you seeing this as a 1 and 2, it is might be doing the triangle because the time are equal. So possibility are triangle, maybe the contracting type or expanding type. So one more up. So here you can expect some sideways, or if it is going this, so some reversal and before it can go any further up. Okay. So look for this pattern, and it is good opportunity for maybe to the option sellers, these highs and these twos. Okay. So expect some upside moment and the downside and upside in case of Bank Nifty until and unless it crosses the 28,890 in a sharper way. Sharper way means in lesser time. Let's take this as a low. If it happens like a faster, then we can say something has broken and we'll keep the SL and trade for the downside. Okay. So now we'll be seeing the individual stocks. HDFC quickly. Mm. So as earlier discussed, like this might be 1 and 2, or here 3 and 4 and something has started. Again, like it is a sideways, maybe expect some complex correction, or if it is not breaking here, so one more up. Or if something has like 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and 5, so it will be ending in a complex correction and the correction. So expect some upside moment of 2500 and further. If it is not breaking this, stay in a buy for 2600 in case of HDFC, not to sell. HDFC Bank, similar. Chart is ready, maybe to the 1600 and 1560. So it is going in a sideways, right? So pattern is very much in a favor of buy. So 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and 5. So look for buy setup, not to sell in case of HDFC until and unless it crosses the level of 1340. Hindustan Unilever. So we were in the buy. So stay in a buy. Look for the buy setup, maybe to the level of 2470 or above that. So look for buy, not for the sell. ICICI Bank chart is ready again. So slightly changes in the pattern. Maybe this as a low now, and this as a second low I'm considering. So this as the third low. Probably we are hitting 534 or 535 first before it can go any further up or down. So look for buy, not for sell. Infosys. So earlier said like if it is 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5 we are ending. If not 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5, so we'll be going higher. So as we did this max like a 1272, 1.272, that is 1222. And now what can expect? So I'm removing everything now. So if this whole pattern or like something has ended this point or this point, now this will be the new structure 1 and 2. Now this will be the 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and 5, one more up. So that will be completing like 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and 5. So stay in a buy in case of ICICI Bank. So look for buy at least like 1280, sorry, Infosys 1280 or 1295. So look for buy setup, not to sell until and unless it gives the confirmation. ITC, so we were in the buy, stay in a buy. Some correction can be expected like A, B, and C, then one more up. So look for buy, not for the sell, because this is little sharper pattern. So here, if you expect some correction also, look for the buy, not for the sell. Kotak. So earlier we were expecting it to do the flat or a triangle structure. Now it is like a sideways. I'm keeping this. It is slower form. If something ended here, it will be like a B, and C. If crosses high, then look for the buy. The whole pattern will be like 1 and 2. Here, if some correction, and fifth wave is going on, right? So this will be my 0, 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and 5. So if something has in the correction, maybe this, or if I need to add the only 2 and 4 trend line, presently this trend line has crossed, but not in lesser time. So I'm just adjusting it to downside. So if it is crossing the high of this on the closing basis, that is yesterday's close, or let's take it as a 2000, then we'll be looking for one more buy. Or if it's some correction, let's say slower and sideways, if it breaks, we'll be going for the buy, or else some correction and buy. So overall structure is still in a buy because this is a sideways. Let's say earlier we said like stay in a sell because it might be doing the flat. And where you will come to know that this pattern or whatever we are thinking is going wrong, the moment it hit and crosses the trend line. So that is the beauty of these 0b trend line, or 0b or 02 or whatever it is. But this trend line, if it is breaking, don't listen to anyone. Whatever your trade, reverse it and stay in a buy, or at least wait for the next confirmation and trade according to that. Okay. LNT, it is sharper for the downside now, removing everything. Now you keep referral to this as a sharper. It might be taking some time and doing one more down before it can go any further up. So in LNT, look for sell at least to the 80% of this that will be coming near visually 1188. So look for sell, not for the buy. Reliance. So it is going in a sideways. Hope that this is like A and B and C. This is sharper. So again, it will be doing some kind of correction. If it is slower, then it will break. If not, it will be coming to one down. So look for sell until and unless it crosses the level of 2040 for the buy. Okay. TCS, yeah, it is going for the upside, but not very much high. It might go one more up, but expect some correction before it can go any further up, because this is not a sharper upside movement. May does like this. Okay, running flat or triangle. So look for sell, but not a confirmed sell. It might be going to the 2900 or 2975 before it can go any further downside. Okay, so let's see one Bajaj Finance. Usually people will ask. Yeah, Bajaj Finance is above this channel. Hope if it is crossing one more up, so we'll be looking one more upside. Or if it is like above the channel and consolidating there from the lower time frame angle, this will be the present channel which is looking like. But here if you see the structure is looking like a two-way structure. So most of the time they will be doing the structure that of the flat or a triangle. To the 80% you can expect, that is 5300. Then we will see some reversal before it can go any further down. A, B, C, D, E kind of structure, that is of neutral triangle or a flat before it can go any further up. Okay, so look for slight buy, then look for sell in case of Bajaj Finance. Okay, so we have 5 minutes time remaining. So if you have any doubts, you can ask, and as if time ends, so we'll be sending a one more link to you so that we will be continuing second that.
Sir, good evening, sir.
Good
Chakravarti.
evening. Good evening, Chakravarti.
Yeah, sir, Relaxo and Dixon
Okay.
daily.
Yeah. Relax.
Daily and hourly. Daily and hourly.
Okay, this is the early chart. So I better go daily first. Yeah. It is again going in sideways. Okay. Okay. Some odd structure has finished here. A, B, and now for the C. If something has started at this point, let's take 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and 5. But for that, I need to check the length of third with the first. Yeah, it is more than that. As if I'm just taking this as a first wave moment. Let's take this as a no. Yeah, it is bigger than first. So fine. So you can take presently like a 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. You can expect most of the case what will happen if 1 and 3 are smaller. Let's take like this, because third is not very much faster. Most of the time the fifth will extend. So here it might be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 if 5 is doing. I'll check with Arlie now. Okay, I'll keep the same window. Only taking this end now, 1 and 2. Let's take the 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, 3 and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, it might be the fourth wave or it is going for the fifth. So very little upside can be expected in case of Relaxo. Just adding that might be 100% or little bit above that, but not very much bullish. You can say 830 or 840 can be expected.
Right, sir. That's a big resistance.
Yes,
Correct.
yes. And here, if something started here, let's take some, this correction has ended here in the form of triangle or something like uh, ABC, or like here it is ABC. Again, it is like a ABC. And if I'm not considering this low, if I'm just adding this by thinking like ABC has got over and after this correction, then you might get one more up. For example, this is a 1 and 2. There after this, here you will be getting some sideways. If you got that, that is fine. So then you will be getting this 920 or 930 or near 950. That also possible. Why? Because
Oh,
here it's something end in a triangle. So something ends here or here if ended, then I take this as like a 1 and 2, and this will be the present which is 3 and 4 and which going for the 5. Or else this
right.
will be the 1 and 2.
Actually,
This is
actually, the 830 is the all-time high.
yeah, yeah. So 830 and 840 will be all time high, and here it is going in a sideways. So maybe if you consider this as a high, and totally if I go with this sideways, it is going in a very much sideways. So might happen this a kind of structure, maybe the flat here you
Oh,
can take this. So before it can go any further up. Okay, so
Thank you, sir.
yeah, yeah. And Dixon, you said, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it is fine. It is going top. Okay, that is weekly. So it is a two-way. Maybe this is a new start because it is a one, two, three, four, and five. You can take this, and here is three and four, and some correction. Okay. So you can expect some correction here in case of Dixon. Maybe this, if you want to buy again. So here, not at channel stop. So you can buy somewhere around this because this is again like a sharper moment for the upside. There is no sideways. So you might get one more up before it can go any further down. So you'll be getting this. So stay in a buy, not to sell. But presently you can little bit, if you bought already, you can book, and later if you get a chance to enter somewhere around 11,300 or 11,000 change, you can enter once again, or you can reduce 25% and again enter the 25% here. You can do that.
Right. Okay, sir.
Okay. Yeah. JSW daily and Harley. Okay. JSW steel. Yeah. So we might discuss this earlier, maybe like this. Here it's a beautiful pattern that is uh, kind of neutral triangle, A, B, C, D, and E. After that, you see the breakout and the moment. That is very good pattern. It is like somewhere around, if you are getting like, just remember this.